everybody is doing fine, doing okay, wherever you are. And for the past session, we hopefully you learn a lot of things about the different laws, user interface, and user experiences. We discussed that for the past session. And with I did provide you like a short, activity, and we did a lot of short quizzes as well. And I'm reading all of your, what do you call this one? Reading all of your evaluation comments. Thank you for your comments and your feedback. I am not perfect, everybody is learning and we are all learning. And I hope that you will continue learning as well. So just keep learning. And I'm not sure if my slide is visible right now. If you can see my slide. All right. So I think it's showing now. So today it's going to be our session 3. If you can again scan the attendance for this session, for today's session. Let me just refresh this one. I think the images are not loading. This can what happened last time when I go to the next slide. Some of the images are not actually showing up. Let me just refresh it again. Let me just go over them. Just to make sure that the images are showing. Is my voice audible on your end? Okay. Okay. Right. So this is session 3. If you can actually scan through the QR code or take a screenshot again and go back. Insert the photo or a screenshot. And last time, I believe most of you have created your Figma account. And before we, jump into creating or do some prototyping, navigation with Figma, I would like to emphasize and discuss more about the importance of wireframing. And I'm pretty sure maybe some of you skip this part. And I think this part is very vital and very important. If you ever tried, designing a website or app without wireframing, you'll know why wireframing process matters. So without wireframing, how can you and your team visualize? So that's the problem. You don't just dive in, putting images, buttons, content without really doing some layout. It's similar when you are trying to design, a building, or like a house. You have consult like an architect or an engineer to do the blueprint and do the wireframing. Similar with building a design for building a website or a web app, we usually start with sometimes we do sketching. I don't know if you do that, but me, I usually get a pen and paper and do like some drawings, and maybe some of you are actually performing that as well. So how do you sequence user flow? So that's the purpose of it, or know what content goes on which screen. So I usually draw the home page screen on a piece of paper. I put the image, for example, and put details just to visualize everything. And it's really frustrating if people are commenting on the visual when what you actually need is high level feedback, like it is in the most important thing. So what is wireframe? Let me just into this one. So I know most of you already know what is wireframe. So our basic blueprint that helps teams align on requirements, keeping user experience design conversations focused and constructive. Think of your wireframe as the skeleton of your app or your website or other final product. Your wireframe shows the design team and stakeholders, the bare bones. It is the bare bones outline of the central web pages, components, and features, so including screen layouts, navigation bars, components of UX, and UI designs, interactive elements at the early stages of design. So we will encounter later on what is low fidelity wireframe, rely on you know the difference between low fidelity wireframe and high fidelity as well. Okay, hold on. Okay, okay, hold on. I just think it's not loading. Yeah. So starting with the clean stair wireframe, design also gives UI UX designers room to iterate iterate. They can collect early feedback from user testing on core UX UI elements without distracting user visual design details. So design teams try out different concepts, feature flows, and templates as they work towards the ultimate user experience. So there are three types of wireframe designs: low fidelity, mid fidelity, and high fidelity. We just proceed to this one. So low fidelity and high fidelity wireframe. So the level of wireframing fidelity affects how fast you learn, how quickly you can make changes, and whether your design budget goes toward finding user needs or just making guesses look good. So choosing the right fidelity moves your projects forward. The wrong choice leads to more rework. So the guide explains when to use low fidelity and high fidelity wireframes depending on your project stage. So what your stakeholders need and your team goals, you will get a clear framework that matches fidelity to your level of uncertainty. So last time we did talk about what is low fidelity and wireframing. I think we discussed a little bit of wireframing, but we did not discuss the details of it. So low fidelity wireframe is a simple sketch. It's a simple sketch or a user interface that helps you plan out, like you are trying to lay out everything without the details or without putting all the images or the elements. At first, you just visualize what would be in this certain area, what would be on that area, on that corner or below, what would be your navigation look like, and what would be your hero look like, and also your content. You can start doing low fidelity structure. So this wireframe use basic shapes like rectangle and circles to represent elements such as buttons, text boxes, and images. So without worrying about the details, you don't put the colors. It's just a plain like black or gray color. The main goal of low fidelity is on how everything is, organized and how user will interact with it. At first, you will think about it. It's really time consuming to um, go on this blueprint design, and sometimes you jump right into the layout and everything. Well, that's okay. I think if, especially if you already have the idea or knowledge or background about the different layout hierarchy, the different laws that you will apply for user interfaces, the user design components, um, and everything else. So if you are really, an expert in that level, some designers, user designers, or user interface designers, or user interface experience designers, they jump into layouting, and sometimes they use templates as well. So Using low fidelity, it is quick to create, often with pen and paper, yes, as I mentioned, or basic digital tools. And as you can see, last time I did provide you the worksheet, I believe, in Google Forms so that you can share to me your wireframe layout. And I have seen, yeah, most of your work, and I was really impressed in how you lay out your design. There is white spaces rule, there is hierarchy. It's simple. The text and logo and the arrangement of your layout is really great. So low fidelity wireframes early in your design process, like when you're brainstorming. So it's good for brainstorming. Since of course in Figma and other designs like Canva as well, you can collaborate within one design or within projects or many projects. Brainstorming ideas or getting feedback from your team or client. They're perfect for workshops and initial user testing because they let you explore different layouts and gather feedback quickly without getting, bogged down in detail. So I think I should not give you like one template for us to work because I believe we are like more than 60 or 65 people to work on. But I can give you some links for you to, work on that. And maybe some of you already have that experience. Feedback quickly without getting bugged. And this makes them a cost-effective way to test and refine your ideas before you start adding, before you put everything, before you add the images, the content, the colors, and everything. That's it. The advantages of, doing the low fidelity wireframe includes, fast and easy trade. So low fidelity wireframes can be quickly drawn by hand or with a simple digital tool, as I mentioned. Flexibility, their simplicity makes low fidelity wireframes highly adaptable. So it's really highly adaptable or flexible. You can quickly iterate on them based on the feedback form from teams, members, stakeholders. So this flexibility is crucial in the early stages of design, where ideas are still fluid and subject to change. Another thing is focus on functionality. So by stripping away the details first, or never minding the details or design elements, low fidelity wireframes help you concentrate on the core, like on the core functionality, on the core experience, or the hierarchy. So you can focus on how user will interact with the interface and ensure that the basic interface or the basic layout was actually established, especially the navigation part. So navigation are intuitive and effective. And the next is cost effective. So creating this low fidelity wireframe, it actually requires fewer resources. Um, in creating, low fidelity, it will take a lot of your time. Maybe, uh, it depends on the pages, like 15 to 20 minutes per page. And then if you have a lot of pages, you combine those times. But compared to high fidelity, it requires less time. Yeah. So fidelity wireframes look or prototypes. They actually don't need specialized software or expensive time investment, making them an ideal choice for the initial stage of development when budget and timelines are often tight. And so the limitation of this one, however, so there's the like lack of visual details, of course, overly simple user experience. So of course, it's not actually the application experience itself. And then limited interactive features. So that it's a limitation when we try to create. Okay, it's not, of course, it's not yet finished. It's still the backbone or like the blueprint of your design. Now for high fidelity wireframes, this is where we actually, put all the colors put the images and everything, the content, your font style. So high fidelity wireframes are advanced mockups that offer realistic portrayal of a website or application's user interface. They include intricate details, so intricate details, the heading, the navigation bar, the icons that you put, whether it's JPEG, PNG, or SVG type of file. Of course, usually for high quality images, we or icons, we use format of SVG and high quality images as well. And it's part of some web platform to optimize images for better experience to load images, especially if you have like a lot of media elements in your website. Realistic portrayal of website or application user interface. So they include intricate details, as I mentioned, specific topography, color schemes, imagery, and interactive elements like buttons, of course, and menus. So high fidelity wireframes often simulate the actual experience, including hover clickable elements, and dynamic content. This level of detail helps in visualizing the final product more accurately and allows for thorough testing of design and functionality. So when exactly are we going to reach high fidelity process and why? So detailed design and development. So high fidelity wireframes are essential in the later stages of design process when you need to work out the finer details of the layout and user interface. They help in refining the design to ensure it meets the desired standards and requirements by specifying exact dimensions, colors, themes, topography, and content placement. So it also includes client and stakeholder presentation. So when doing high fidelity layout structures, when presenting to a client or stakeholder, high fidelity wireframing offer a clear, detailed, and realistic view of what the final product will look like. So this level of detail helps in effectively communicating the design vision and the user experience, making it easier for for clients and your stakeholders to understand the visual or understand and visualize the end result. Next, of course, usability and testing. So unlike low fidelity wireframes, um, they include detailed design elements and interaction that closely mimic the final product. This allows for more accurate testing of the user interaction, navigation flows, and visual elements. Testers can provide feedback on specific aspects like button placement, color contrast, and overall usability. Of course, development handoff. High fidelity wireframes play a crucial role when transitioning the design to development team. They provide all the necessary details such as exact measurements, font style, colors, and interactive elements, ensuring the developers have clear, precise blueprints to follow this to follow to a ring. So this reduces the risk of misinterpretation and error during the development phase. Now, of course, the advantages of high fidelity wireframe. It is realistic representation. High fidelity wireframes offer detailed and realistic view in helping stakeholders. Um, that is what I have discussed. Those are the advantages. Uh, Thorough usability testing, detailed design communication, and it is a refined design. Goes to the final product, of course, there's a lot of testing as well. These are the limitations, but you don't have any proof that you will experience it because it is really time consuming, if it's really detailed process, resource intensive, so you will definitely maximize your resources They often require advanced design tools and software, as well as skilled designers. This makes them more intensive. Less flexibility, making changes to high fidelity wireframes can be more challenging and time consuming. So it is somehow complex architecture. Um, if they're like if you remove something, if you done something with your elements, with your components, with your frames, most likely if you're not familiar about everything, you will sometimes um, do some changes that is not necessary on that particular project. So you need to really understand the components, the structures of if you're working with high fidelity structures to wireframing. So design is more detailed and complex, as I mentioned. This can make it harder to iterate quickly based on feedback. And of course, miscommunication potential. So if it is not properly managed, you can have a risk, miscommunication between the design and development teams. If the wireframes are not sufficiently detailed or clear in their specification, it can lead to discrepancies during implementation. Especially like if maybe if you are collaborating with high fidelity wireframing and some of the details and elements or property was not really established and some designers were likely to make some changes that is not applicable. So sometimes there's like a miscommunication central. Now these are the key differences between the low fidelity and high fidelity. So for low fidelity, it is simple, abstract, and representation, very polished. For high fidelity, they look very similar in final product. For low fidelity, they focus on hierarchy and content. Um, in visual detail, it's on the high fidelity, more on the font, colors, and images. Little functionality, but for the high fidelity, it is highly functional because it includes interactive with the buttons or other elements in the design. And also, initial feedback features and usability are covered, but on the high fidelity, detailed feedback about design and advanced features. Low fidelity wireframe. So use cases for low fidelity and high fidelity wireframe. For low fidelity wireframes, of course, brainstorming. Low fidelity wireframes are excellent for brainstorming sessions as they offer quick and flexible ways to explore design ideas. Um, developer buy-in, so they can help secure developer buy-in by providing basic blueprint of the product, the functionality in the layout. So while not as detailed as high fidelity wireframes, they still convey the essential or initial elements in interaction. So it enables or enabling developers to understand the project scope and technical requirements early on. And we also have like the user testing. So early user testing, it can be also implemented in low fidelity wireframe design. So wireframes allow designers to gather feedback on fundamental usability aspects. So before, investigating or investing, doing significant time and resources to avoid also, that's the purpose of low fidelity, to finalize or maybe to have like a layout. Their minimalistic design focuses on functionality and flow, making it easier to identify potential issues before they jump into high fidelity and refining user experience. So keeping clients in the loop, they have been proven to be useful for keeping clients informed and involved throughout the design process by presenting simplified representation of the design concept. Clients can provide input and make decisions in the low fidelity. So because if you are actually editing more on the high fidelity, most likely you will mistake or major problem on your design. So it's better to discuss the layout, the functionality, the buttons and the elements, and the low fidelity, so that you will have like a minimal changes when you are on the high fidelity phase. So build functionality and software without being distracted by visual effects. Discipline with that. For high fidelity wireframes, achieving basic functionality. So once the basic functionality of the design has been established, this detailed wireframes include specific UI elements and refined layout, allowing for a clearer understanding of how the final product will look like and operate. And then, of course, testing more advanced interaction. So advanced interaction or user flows, they are ideal for testing more advanced um, interaction in user flow. So high fidelity wireframes provide a realistic representation of the user interface, enabling designers to gather precise feedback on the usability and the functionality of the interactive element. And handing off design to developers, this wireframes include detailed specifications, visual elements, and interaction guidelines, ensuring that developers have a comprehensive and accurate blueprint to follow during the development phase. So how do we create low and high fidelity wireframes? So basically, this is how it looks like. It's just simple. When we create low level or low fidelity wireframes, we define the purpose, identify the primary goals of the wireframe, are you brainstorming ideas, gathering initial feedback, those are the questions, or um, outlining the basic structure, and then sketch basic layout. So start with simple sketches or paper using digital tools, as I mentioned, use placeholders. So incorporate placeholders for images, placeholder for images, uh, and text to represent where these elements will be positioned, as you can see on the sample layout. Um, Without focusing, too much focusing on the, overall designs and the, content. So focus on the functionality. So highlight the core functionality and main user interaction to ensure the basic flow is actually understood or understand. So gather feedback. So share your low fidelity wireframes with stakeholders, your clients for the initial design to gather initial feedback and make necessary adjustments. And then once they approve the low fidelity layout or the wireframing, so you can, once they have a go signal and you have an agreement form, you sign the agreement form or they signed and agreed on the low level wireframing, then you go on with the high fidelity wireframing. You proceed to the next one. So when and how to convert low fidelity wireframe to high fidelity wireframe to achieve basic functionality. So once the basic structure and the functionality are agreed upon, as I mentioned, it's time to start adding more details. Of course, you always um, your guiding maybe your guiding book would be your blueprint, which is your low fidelity wireframe. So detailed design elements begin converting placeholders to actual content and add topography, color schemes, images, and detailed UI elements. Advanced interaction. Incorporate more advanced interaction in animation. Ensure this interaction are intuitive and enhance the user experience. Prototyping tools. You can use prototyping tools that support high fidelity wireframes to create, interactive prototypes which allow for more thorough testing and feedback. Testing and refinement. Testing and refinement. Conduct usability testing, With a high fidelity wireframe to gather detailed feedback, refine the design based on this feedback to ensure it meets user needs and expectations. Now, low and high fidelity wireframing tools, there's a lot online. The Figma is one. You can do a lot of with Figma. But we also have like just in mind. Just in mind has got you covered with wide array of user interface elements, interactive components, and handy templates to get your project off the ground. Its standout features include interactive prototypes, mobile and web wireframes, collaboration tools, um, intensive widgets, and also it has library and usability testing capabilities as well. So it is really perfect for designers and developers who want a comprehensive tool to create detailed interactive wireframes to both prototypes. I don't know if you're familiar about this one, so that's another tool that you can use. Aside from that, we have Biosmith it makes brainstorming and iterating on design fun and easy. So, without getting lost in the details, so you will enjoy the drag and drop simplicity, sketch styles, elements, collaboration features, and ability to export your wireframes as PDF. So you can export this one as PDF or images. So it's an ideal choice for teams and individuals who need straightforward tools to quickly brainstorm and iterate on UI design. And also, we have Azure. RT is like a Swiss Army knife for wireframing and prototyping, perfect um, for both low and high fidelity design. It's actually packed with powerful features that lets you create complex dynamic prototypes with speed. So imagine I interactive prototypes, conditional logic, dynamic panels, advanced animation, collaboration tools in detailed documents. Of course, let's not forget the Adobe XD. So it's from Adobe. It's really user-friendly, versatile design tool that can handle everything from wireframing to high fidelity design seamlessly integrated with other Adobe Creative Suite or Creative Cloud products. So it offers vector-based drawing tools, interactive prototyping. It has voice command and plugins. And then um, Mockup, your user-friendly web-based companion. So for creating wireframes, mockups, and prototypes. So Mockup make it easy to design with its intuitive thing, drag and drop interface, built-in stencils, and real-time collaboration features. So you can even manage version control. So it has version control. It's like similar with programming or when you are creating projects as well. So you can even manage that, create both low and high fidelity design seamlessly. Ideal for teams. So for wireframe tips, you can actually simply go to Figma and search um on the community for other plugins, for templates and design. So you can scan this one, and then you can. It's similar to the activity that I have, provided to you last time. So this one is actually a similar layout that given to you. So when you open like a sample wireframing in Figma, this is one of the templates that you will see. It's just plain and basic layout design or low fidelity design or wireframing, no color, no too much details on it, and you can start also adding images and layouting with you know when you are starting to create the high fidelity layout. So you can add image, you can add change the font style, change the color, you can group everything, you can uh, do a framing group or components as well. These are just maybe some add-on to our workflow or our process. So we have what we call the user flow. Of course, the user flow is a visual roadmap on how your user journey will look like. It lays out the steps, the steps they take to complete a specific task. I'm not sure if you create your thesis maybe before you graduate in your course and in your degree, you will have different diagrams, right? Like flow chart, you have DSP, you have UML and everything. But in user interface and user experience, sometimes in order for us to have a better understanding of how a particular process or a particular goal in your in your website or in your mobile application, sometimes it's really good to have like a well-defined or predefined user flow. So it lays out the steps we take to complete a specific task inside your product or service or inside your website and mobile application. From the first part or oh, it needs to be this or that's perfect, what's the next step? So think of user flows as the blueprint of user experience design strategy. So it's part of the user design strategy. They help designers and product managers understand how the user move through your system and identify the potential roadblock, maybe like a dead end, and the user don't know what to click and what's the next step. And you forgot to put like a button or close button or a back button. So and what if they choose this one? What's the next page or what are the things they can see? Um, so why is user flow important in UX design? User flows matters in UX or user experience design because it helps you design smarter, faster, and more user-friendly experience. So here's an example. Smooth user experience user flows highlight red blocks early so you can click them before launch or launching your application or your website or doing some design. Clear alignment. User flows give a stakeholder a simple visual to rally around, saving time and avoiding confusion. So once you have your user flow defined, you know what will be the different steps that your user will go through. How the user view your product, how the user add a particular product, and how the user will maybe like do some checkouts and proceed to checkout process and make a payment. Um, User flows give stakeholders a simple visual, saving time and avoiding confusion. So efficient design, user flows eliminate guesswork and streamline the design process, revealing the quickest path for users to reach their goal or to achieve their goal. Focus priorities. It is focus priorities because user flows spotlight the most critical tasks, helping teams decide what matters next or what's next. So user flows best practices. Once you've learned how to create a user flow, the next step is to refine your process. Implement this best practices. So always start with your goals. Begin with a strong understanding on how or what your users want to achieve. Grounding your flow in a real goal helps keep the design focused and intentional. Keeping it simple. Aim for clarity and efficiency. Flows with too many steps and branches can be hard for users and your team to follow. So stay consistent, use the same symbol, use the same shapes, labels to anyone that can follow along with your user flow. Focus on the goal per flow. So each user flow should map to a single well-defined stack. This makes it easier to test and optimize. Share and iterate. Share early, gather feedback, and adjust. So flows work best when everyone has a hand in shaping them. And next, after the user flow, what is a sitemap? So user experience sitemap is a visual tool that's a handy aid for you as a user experience or user experience designer. It doesn't just organize the website content and structures. It actually displays how web pages connect, how web pages connect to each other, or what will be the sub pages on that particular menus. Um, it also identifies the gap and prioritizing, prioritizes content. So from that, it's actually a great aid to nurture a good, solid, cohesive design. So your users navigate website easily with a clear logical flow. So it's read on well, it's stored. It's stored in the sitemap tools and best practices. So similar like this one. So this is your user experience sitemap. So it's like a diagram or outline, the structures and organizing, your website, your application, your pages, or your digital product. So it serves as a blueprint or map of your various pages or sections and navigation hierarchy within your product or within your site. So a well-crafted user experience sitemap guides user nine users. It is actually effortless through a website, but there are also bonus effects in that in a website development, it also serves as a collaborative tool so people from other teams to see what's missing, what should be included in the cart pages, what the interactions or maybe a model, like maybe an overlay layout pops up on that particular page. So in this way, you will have like an overview or like the visual representation of you know the user flow process that is included. So that is how your sitemap would look like. So including your stakeholders with non-design background, if they don't have a nice background with design, because it's different when you like navigate with your website or your web app. But once you have this kind of illustration, most likely your stakeholders will have a better understanding. So website layout is in line with user needs and business goals. So what is more, a good sitemap means teams can spot gaps, you can spot missing gaps or gaps that they might otherwise miss and prioritize essential content that is better in tune with true user-centric design. So user experience diagram typically includes the following elements. So your pages, sections, it lists the main pages or sections of the product, such as home, about, services, product, contact. These are often represented as boxes and nodes, the sitemap. So navigation hierarchy, it illustrates the hierarchy relationship between different pages or sections. This includes primary navigation, main menu, secondary navigation, submenu, and other navigation elements. So it has a content relationship. It shows the relationship between content or functionality across different pages, or sections. This helps in identifying dependencies, connections, and logical groupings and related content. Page depth and complexity, it represents the depth or the complexity of a particular section or a particular pages. If that particular page will have a lot of processes and will have a lot of a confirmation pop-up or overlay, a light model, so you can include that in the particular section or page. Information hierarchy. So it guides actually the overall information hierarchy or architecture of the product by organizing and categorizing content. It helps in determining how information is grouped, labeled, and accessed by users. So we have users flow, we have sitemaps, and task flow. So task flows are typically linear. It's like, you know, it's like flowchart, but somehow it's on a horizontal, straight line or process. Typically linear and represents a high-level action that a user would take in arriving at a particular objective or endpoint. So a task flows are straightforward, have only one task, and don't include any branches or pathways. It's just straightforward. Just like this one. Hold on. I am not sure if you can see my slide. Okay, there you go. I thought I lost that in minutes. Okay, there you go. And switching slide. Okay. All right. So as you can see the task flow, so task flows are typically linear. So you can see the home page, the search package, search results, and that's it. Um, it actually states one particular task um, and what is the goal or what are the different processes that it will undergo. So these are steps necessary to complete, the task or goal are only shown in the task flow. So it excludes the user choices and activities. Right? So let me just proceed to the next one. Now, I hope most of you was able to, um, perform basic tool functionality and testing using Figma. Last time I was able to introduce you how to use the move tool, the shape tool, doing the text tool, and how to create your frames and how to choose what kind of phones are you using and testing. Maybe it's an iPhone 13, 15, 16, or 17, or maybe it's like a smartwatch, or maybe it's on a tablet. So that was our discussion last time. So this time I will just focus on the prototyping, prototyping part. So prototyping is the process of creating an interactive testable model of a product to validate design concept and gather user feedback before development. So maybe some of you were able to create the low fidelity wireframe, and maybe some already created the high fidelity design. That's good. And I'm pretty sure if you reach that kind of level, you are somehow familiar with the designing and arranging of your elements, adding icons, creating the logos, where to put the image, um, and so on. And maybe some of you already have an experience with prototyping. So let's go ahead and take a look around. Like example, take a look around in your office computer and smartphone. Most of the ingenious modern products we use daily started as humble prototypes. They are prototypes. So to create a prototype, designers use rapid iteration to make tests and incorporate feedback into a product design. So prototyping is a quick way to go from sketches or wireframes to simulation or to simulate, where you can get user feedback, exchange to your stakeholders or to your co-designers. So prototyping tools, you can turn sketches into series of interconnected screens. So in Figma, it's like this one. You can simply click and drag a particular element. So you can see how a user can navigate through experience without having to write any code. So why does prototyping matter? The goal of prototype is to ensure your design works in the hands of the user. So it works when they click, when they scroll, when they scan, when they scroll up, when they swipe left, swipe right, or something like that. So prototype is one of the easiest and cheapest ways to get feedback before you spend a lot of money building something that might not met or meet users' needs. Then you'd have to spend even more to course to correct. So creating prototyping allows design teams to hone a product concept before it's built and launched, saving time, money, and headaches for everyone involved. Prototyping helps designers are at every step of the design process. Hold on. So key benefits of key benefits of prototyping, it validates concepts before costly development by bringing ideas to life with rapid prototypes that help stakeholders align with align on what's being designed, facilitate communication between designers and non-designers through visual interactive models. So one key benefit to prototyping is validate early concept. In a design sprint, you can bring your concept to life with a rapid prototype. This helps stakeholders align on what's being designed, giving everyone a realistic depiction of what the experience will be, and then facilitate communication. Whether you are working with clients or talking with your CEO about goals and needs, you've probably noticed the designers and non-designers often speak different languages. So in Figma, Figma has commenting features to share perspectives and feedback so that everyone's on the same page and nothing is lost in translation. It refines features and flows when you design something from the ground up, it becomes hard to see it with a fresh eye. So no matter how much research is incorporated into your initial design, raw data can replace user testing with a prototype. So this exposed user experience challenge that weren't obvious during planning and enabling quick and easy changes to UI. So when doing like you know prototyping, these are some of the things that you can actually do in prototyping. Once you have your layout, example like this one, you can increase the width of your frame. And then on this one, this side, you can click on the sub menu to make it fit. As you can see on the menu below, it says fit there. That's another. And then if you want to jump to another page, another frame, you simply create the frame and then you select the area that you want to click. You can group that element and then you go to prototype menu and then you will see like a plus icon in each element of that particular group. And then on the trigger and actions, you can select on that. And then you can see the name and then you can click prototype. Then once you click, it jumps to the next thing. Or you can simply use the interaction default. You don't just drag, but you can click interaction. You can press R to start a replay using your prototype. Using the overlay, like this one, the message, you can create another frame. Then you can put all the options right there. Once we click the plus sign, you can connect that and wireframe that. So you can position that maybe on the bottom center or maybe at the center. So once you play that, once you click the three dot icon, it will show the the um, overlay menu or page, and then you can simply copy. Simple for collaboration and for uh, group, maybe group project or maybe it's a team project. You can share and make your layout. You just simply copy and paste that. All right. So that is actually simple layout or simple prototyping. Let me just share my screen. Okay, hold on. So there's a lot of maybe if you're not gonna use if you're not gonna use okay, hold on, I'm not sure if what did I share to you? Maybe this one? Or this one? So as you can see, there's just like a wireframing layout. Maybe this one. Hold on. I have a lot of pages here. Maybe not sure which one did I share to you guys. Hold on. It's loading a little bit. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm not sure if it is zooming on your end. So this is an example template for wireframing. So you can explore and then create your own wireframe layout. It's not actually zooming. And let me show another example for the site map. Um, So this is like a low fidelity website as well, a layout, redesign. If you wanted to, start designing your website, you can have that kind of layout or presentation or hierarchy. And then I think I have the type of page of this one. Okay. So this kind of layout is actually it shows the mobile layout. Um, if you want to like design something or like to animate something or a loading screen maybe, something like that, you can have this for wireframing. What will be the next screen looks like? Maybe this is just like a guide intro on your website. Then they simply just swipe left and guide through how to sign up and go to the main menu. Let me share another screen to this. So this is, as we discussed earlier, this is actually a user flow template. So you will state what will be the flow or the process of the user, what will be the um, options or the systems process included, the input and output, users decision connections, and what will be the options if they choose that particular option, and to achieve the end process. And we need to explore another one. Um, okay. So this example is actually the type map. As you can see, when we try to create our type map, it actually allows us to define all, probably the links to the pages and the section in that particular page. And it actually connects once you click or like have the about, it goes to the about screen. And what are the things that you can see, elements, the components in your about page. And when you go to recipes, what will be the elements and content of that page? So using the sitemap that we discussed, you will have like a visual representation of all the pages and sections in your page. Okay, hold on, let me take it again. Here's another slide. And so I want you guys to um start creating your high fidelity layout. Maybe you can also define your sitemap and user flow as well. You can include that in your process when you are trying to design. And once you're done, you can start doing like animation. You can start doing prototyping. Let me just share this page here. Hold on. I'm not sure which one. I have a lot of pages. Hold on. Hang on. I'm not sure that I'm going to share a different thing with you. Okay. I'm not sure if we are on the same screen. As you can see, once we're done with wireframing, we started to create the logos and everything. You can go with your frames over here. Um, and okay. Anyway, you can click any frame, like this frame, and then you can click this one, and then you go to this frame. You can hide and show. You can even lock this one, and you can actually see the different components in your pages or in your project. And then you can actually go over here and then you can simply, run um, your your layout. You can click that and then you can run, but it opens a different page. That's the reason why you cannot see, but you can simply press shift, shift, what do you call this one? Space bar, so that it will just open this kind of area right here. You know, you can click this frame, for example, if you wanted to run this, and then click this on the keyboard, click space bar. Then you don't have to go over here and then click this one, or maybe you can click this in preview. You can simply use it. Then every time you make changes, like for example, a this button, if you move that, and you can see it actually moves on the um on the real simulation. Now this is just high fidelity layout, an example. accessibility layout. And then you can start, adding prototyping or consistent with um, with your layout. So if you're done and if you're happy with your layout, and then you can start, navigating. As you can see, you can scroll down and up, but we can simply go to the frame here and then go to prototyping on the top part, and then make sure the scrolling is horizontal, right? And then you can create um, this in spacebar, and then you can see it's horizontal part. And on the example that was shown earlier, some of the menus are actually over here, right? So it stays on the bottom center, but our menu is over here. So sometimes when you scroll down, you cannot see the menu anymore. So you can simply, make some changes on that. We can click on this one. It's on the header part, and then next is this is the one, yeah. This is the hamburger menu. Then you can switch to fix, stay, and play. However, it's not visible on stay and play, right? That's the problem because it actually follows on the parent itself. So the parent here is like a group one. So we can like add something. I don't know. Maybe add like a state maybe, and then put it here just to make sure that the menu stays there. I'll go to design. This is just so simple and basic. Let me just go ahead and make this like um, darker, like this one. Then just take this one out. Okay. And then we can simply put that here. And then this is the navigation part. There is your navigation over here. And, oh, hold on. Okay, the menu is over here. So it's not on the header. You can simply copy this one. It's the header part. And then just place it there. So hold on. So let's delete this one first. So we are now on like it's actually loading. Let me remove this one right here. Mm, make it center above. Okay. And let's try combining this one is ungroup, and then let's group them like a frame section. Now it's frame, as you can see. When we select this one, go to prototype and then store, as you can see, it's still not fixed. We cannot put that on fixed because once we run it and we scroll down, it's not fixed yet. The reason why is that, yeah, it's still on fixed because this one is part of the header field. You can put it over there at the top, and then you can simply focus because it actually adopts the group header. So that's the reason why. So you really need to understand, the different properties and rules of frames and groups. So we can say this one in place. And once you run this, as you can see, the menu is stays on the top. There's like a problem for the menu icon, right? So we can simply make this one a rectangle opacity. Oh, it's 100% already. Maybe we can put it here like that, so that it will have the the color of I don't know. Now we can start you know framing, adding prototyping on this one. We can highlight this part, uh, quickly this part, and we can click the prototyping. And then once you click this one, you can click that here on this side. That's on the menu, right? So once you drag that, and then you will have like on click, maybe on drag, while hovering, while pressing, key pad, mouse enter, and so on. So we just click that on click, and it will navigate to what? To navigation. So this one is navigation. As you can see, it has a name here. The destination over here, the name actually shows on the top. Like the home page, the navigation page. So it should go to the navigation page. Is it instant? Is it instant? Usually when we click like an icon or a menu like this one, it should collapse, right? It's a collapsible menu. Um, so it should be like, is it instant or dissolved maybe? Navigation. So it should most likely not navigate to. Do you agree like open overlay? Do you think it's open overlay? Right, correct. So once we scroll down and the menu icon still there, once we click this one, so it's actually overlay. Because if we choose like on click, I mean on the action is navigate to, it will definitely, like for example, let's try again. Once we click this one, it's a different page. So that's the purpose of action. So make sure we understand the navigate to and the open overlay. So we need to click open overlay. It usually pop up like a pop-up overlay. And once we try it again, press enter, and as you can see, it should be at the top, right? So we will change this one top center. Instead of center, we change that to top center. As you can see, it automatically adjusts everything. And then we can simply add another. It goes back to the main menu or it closes the page. So we click that and drag it over here, and then on click. So we can use on click. If once we click this menu again, it goes to the menu or the main menu. So is it dissolve or instant, or you can choose? Let me drag this one. Hold on, so that you can see. Navigate to. It should not be overlay, of course. It should be navigate to, and then it should go back to the home page. Is it instant? When we try to check if it is instant, let's see, hold on, like that, instant. But if we add like dissolve, ease out, you can use ease out, click, ease out. As you can see, there's like an animation. Ease in and out, ease in and out. There's like no difference if you can observe, or maybe you can move in, right? Is that okay for move in like that? Okay, let's try. Click, move in. something like that. Or moving like this, right? Hold on, let that. Okay, so like this one a little bit different. Okay, let's see what else can we do. Move in or smart animate. So you can use smart animate or linear like that. Or in similar to resolve. Or like move out, right? Move out like this. Once you click the this one is to move out. And that I think that's more applicable to that particular process, right? So move out. And um, aside from overlaying and doing some animation on this one, you can once you have your layout or your high fidelity layout, you can start now navigating through through the content of your page. Like for example, this button right here, double click. We are still under. If you want to do make some changes on the color in the content, you go to design, you change this color, maybe you change it blue, something like that. You can do that on the design part, right? But again, when we try to do some animation and transition, we go to prototype. And then when let's go to like order now. So order now to go over here, your menu. Yeah. And again, you will see the interaction window. Is it on click? Navigate to. That's good. Go to the menu page. Okay, this one. This one is the menu page right here. And then is it ease in? Are we using ease in? Something like that. I think that's applicable also. Move in or ease in. Maybe like this one, right? We can try and check and find out. Hold on. Click. Again, the shortcut keyboard for this one to pop up is shift and space bar. Okay. All right. So we can scroll down our menu at the top. You can simply, redesign the layout and the transparency of this one. But as you can see, other buttons are not clickable yet. But this one is clickable. So you go now, you will have your menu. And similar with this one, with this area, we can make this one fixed at the top, right? So that you will add the process of the navigation again. So yeah, and then we can click another one, like another button right here, view menu. For instance, here on the same page, right? So can we like do experiment something? Let's move in, maybe it goes down like that. Just for for testing and for demonstration. Again, you need to be consistent with everything, especially with your animation and consistent, and don't confuse your users for that. This is just for the sake of demonstration. Let's go ahead and take this one. Alright, it's from the top, so and it goes down. I think you need to let's stick with this one, right? And then once you're on the menu, again you can click this one and then we can go over here, right? On the navigation. So it should be overlay field. How the overlay looks like this one. As you can see, you will have a preview over here and how your animation would look like. So you just click spacebar, click and spacebar, then order now, click this one, menu, okay. that one. Maybe, yeah, you, yeah, so this, I think that when you click this one, it should still say not okay. Center overlay, yeah. And then aside from, as you can see on the menu here, sometimes, user tends to, user tends to, once you click here, user tends to click anywhere below to close the overlay. And as for example, I will click on this area, right? I will click on this area, it should close. So how do we do that? So like let's go to the wireframe or to the prototype line interaction. Um, to navigation. So it should go like this. You post this one, overlay, and then click this one. Okay, click this one. Yeah, this one. Like close when clicking outside. So once the user actually, you know, um, press anywhere in the in interface, it will definitely close the overlay. And then once I click over here, it actually close the overlay, something like that. Okay, so let me just see. Hold on. If actually similar to this one, it's open, it's overlay. So this one is once it clicks out, you can navigate to right. So on this one, you can also add like the logo. You can usually when they click on the logo, it goes back to the main menu, right? Or the home page. If sometimes a user will actually click the logo, some experience of the user, they will assume that they will definitely go back to the home page. So we can simply out this one. Right? And then just click um, again. Once it's click, it goes back to the home page. And then we can start navigating to the menu. Like for example, if you want to go to the breakfast. Or hold on, let me see. Okay, let's proceed to the breakfast page. Once you click this one, so it should go right there in the breakfast. So once you click that, once it move in, it should be like this one, move in. And once we click this one, we are on the breakfast, right? Yeah. And then you can start again adding the um, prototyping or interaction on all of your elements. But how do we like put a back button? So a back interaction, like for example, this one, this way. So it should go back You don't have necessarily to, to drag this one because sometimes you are on a different page and then you open a different menu to link, and then once you press the menu or press the back button, it will have like a conflict. So instead of dragging this, we can actually, use interaction over here, and then we can click this one. The interaction default would be, hold on, so let's click the back button. Okay, hold on. On click, and once we click on click, action would be back. So it will go back to the main menu, that one. And then you can simply like copy this, and then you can paste it over here, and then you have a back button over here, right? So on the breakfast. So once you click back, we don't have a back page yet. So let me just again order. Then once you click that, go back to the home screen. Then go back, right? Order, and then go to breakfast, and then we click back, as you can see we're here. As you can see, it doesn't go back to the main homepage, right? It goes back to the previous page that you are in. So that's the purpose of creating like iteration. You don't necessarily just click and drag to a specific that page, because sometimes you jump from one page to another and it's not connected to that page. So it should remember the previous page, right? I think, yeah, that's the purpose of, isolation on default. Aside from that, what else? So as you can see on your design, you can start whether you can click this one and then it will have an overlay of the image. You zoom in or zoom out maybe. What else? It can scroll down. We can add a button, like to add button to add to cart or order. Um, yeah, so that's it. So for omelette, so once we click the edge here, it should have this page. Once we click this button, it should, let's go to prototyping. It should go over here, omelette, right? So omelette navigation action, okay, on click, and let's see, move in, do the same thing, move in, and it's 60%, and then let's try. Breakfast, and here on the edge side, and then omelette, we can, add, the back button to be clickable, okay? So before you jump from one page to another, make sure that I apologize if I'm jumping from one page to another without completing everything. I just wanted to make sure that you understand how prototyping works and how interaction works and how overlay works, and you can jump from one page to another, or you can go back to previous page without assigning and dragging that to a particular page, because what if your previous page is this one, and then your tick button was actually dragged over on home, something like that. So once everything is in place, you can start testing and you can share this. And everything is clickable. You can add like other animations, sliders maybe, you can actually do that. And on the menu side, this one is not clickable. If you can see, When we hold on, let's go over here. As you can see, the menu like is not clickable. So you can simply, add this one. But this one actually is the text. So usually I copy and paste that and then I drag because I combine it actually combines everything. It's not separate. So just for demonstration, let's just for example have this menu. And I just delete this one. I just move it over here. And I can add with the menu, okay? On the menu page, right? And then it should be on click, navigate menu page, move in, move in advance, okay? So shift and space bar, okay, that's not the one, this one, should be the first page, and click, then we click it here, like that, the menu, yeah. And then you can simply, this is just one button in your menu. You can simply, add animation and transition or iteration under the prototyping. This is just a mobile view that I'm showing to you. But if you have like a web page layout, something like this, it's the same rule and process when you do prototyping. When you click this one, you can simply click and drag the this one onto the next page and so on and so forth. So that's how you do it. And you can lay out a desktop layout and you can add other details to it and any point. So that's for the prototyping. I know there's a lot of things that you will learn because we have like a limited time, we still have like tomorrow for the last section. I hope that you learn. So let me just switch. You learned something today in our section. You just stick to my slide. Okay. Now for where's my slide? Okay, there we go. There are like three basic principles or basic prototyping principles that we can remember. Actually, there are like 6 or 7. So principle one, navigation, which is very basic. After clicking on the element in the page one, it goes to the page two, and that's what we actually explore and demonstrated. Adding trigger on click action navigation to or action back, something like that. So like this one, transition to sleepy and happy. So you can do that. Some before you, I mean, when you open an app or a website, there's like a loading screen or animation. I think this one is applicable, but it doesn't need to be clickable. So there's like an option on click. Um, Instead of on click, you can choose like delay. So this would be like a delay, but it's still transitioning from one frame or one page to another, and that's how you animate. Without the user interaction, just like splash screen or like a short animation instead of on click, so you can do like what do you call that one? Um, Delay option. Next is called interactive component. So after interacting with the component, instance it changes, it states something like that. It states. So how to use this one? Create a component with a variant and set up interaction between this state. So using actions to change. So action could be change to, something like that. So how do we do that? Okay, once we click this one, the state of that image change to this one, like a radio button, like when you click, something like that. So that's the principle 2. And then principle three is event. After interaction with the element, an event happens. So how to use this one? By creating variables and connecting them to layers and component properties, which are supposed to change somehow by some interaction. So this one happens if there's like a interaction, if there's event that happens. Like this one. Once we click, as you can see on the properties here, click, the trigger is click, action set variable, and then the set variable should be Smith, and set value is true. So this is where we set parameters and values to this one. Unlike with the hard coding part, in JavaScript, we can actually do this when we assign properties and parameters or values to our element. And this one is like jumping from using navigation tool, basically. Once you click something, it goes to a different navigation page, which is what we actually discussed. Next one is, yeah, the same thing for navigation. You can click, you can choose our, theme, whether it's black, purple, or green. So that's another interface example. Um, Similar to this one, yeah. So it actually shows the component that interacts or with the element or the variable. Next principle with the navigation with an event. After clicking on the event on page one, the user is navigated to page two with an event. So how to use this? By creating a click interaction with an element where the first action will be navigate to, and the second set variable. This exact order is essential if the thing happens on the screen and the user is transferred to. So it won't be noticeable that something has changed. So the thing that we did earlier is on navigation click. This one is on a particular event. So once we click, it switched to, we set the variable and preset, and then it chooses the preset one, something like that. So principle for navigation in an event, after clicking on the element on the page one, the user is navigated to page two with an event. This is suitable for scenarios where clicking on an element concerns navigation and some sort of change in the user flow. Principle 5, interactive component. So interactive component with event. By interacting with a component instance, it changes its state and an event happens. So how to use this one? Create a component with several variants and internal interactions between them. For the interaction, it's similar to the first example earlier or the second one, the same principle. Interaction between them. So for the interaction between various and that also triggers event. Add the second action, set variable in a new value for the used variable. So once you click, it changes the value and the event. So by interacting with the component instance, it changes its state and an event happens. So this is suitable for scenarios where an element not only triggers an event but also changes its state, providing visual feedback about the action for the user. Interactive component with navigation. So by doing an interaction with component instance on page one, the component changes its state. And after clicking, the user is transferred to page two. When to use this one in situation where after clicking on the element that navigates somewhere, it also provides visual feedback about the action, about the action. So it changes the state and the color, and it jumps through the different pages, right? So those are the different principles. And another example is different states. Like you can see the component which changes the state to black and then to blue once you click, and then to black again. Similar with accepting agreement conditions. So it changes the state for the label from white to black. All right. So I know maybe some of you had a lot of questions and had a lot of you know what if the sky's the limitation when you try to do some research and you ask um, the community or search on the internet. I'm pretty sure if you spend a lot of time with this one, because as teachers and faculty, sometimes we have different goals and different, responsibilities. But if you are really an expert and if you wanted to focus on user interface and user experience, you give yourself like weeks, months, most likely you will more expert than I am in other, user interface or user experience designers. But yeah, may this experience make you humble and continue learning on this endeavor. And bless all of you. Thank you very much for listening. And before we end, I'd like to wait. Hold on. I'm not sure if you have like questions, because in the next part there will be like a knowledge check again, uh, as usual, as expected. So I hope some of you are ready to participate. And maybe you can do the knowledge check for it. Okay. So let me just share my screen. Hold on. I think we're about to reach the exact time. Let me see where my aha slide. Okay, aha slide. Good. So let me present this, and I hope you guys are ready to scan the QR code, and I hope that you can join by scanning the QR code for our knowledge check for this particular section. So let's just wait for the others. I have two, three, okay, five. I think everybody is like happy. They like clicking the emoticons or the icons happy. Come on, like loving the section, maybe liking the section, and like the five reactions like surprise. Let's just wait for some people to join in. You can scan the QR code again. I'm not sure who actually, got the highest score last time. So there's a lot, you know, people joining in. So let me see. Can we, I can give you like, oh, okay. So I think the question would be, hold on. This is just free time. Hold on. Free, hold on. Let me just adjust this one. Okay, hang on. Alright, hold on. Just share with my screen. Mm, how much money I presented again? We store QR code. So you can, I actually, again, scan, guys, you can scan again. There's like a limit for the free plan. So you can scan too. You can start scanning now so that we can cater others. We have five, six. Okay, we are growing now. Let's give them like maybe like 30 seconds to join, and let's see who will get the highest score again. I'm not sure if Raha. I'm not sure if I forgot it. I forgot the name. Who is really consistent with the section on being the top in the list. No. I think we can start. Are you guys ready for the knowledge check? Everybody can join. Please join. Scan the QR code and join. So then it's proceed. 14. Okay, 15. I think is, I don't know if you have like internet connection problem in your end. Here in the Philippines, we experience a lot. We experience it often. It depends on the area though. Sometimes there's like a power interruption and yeah. So let me go ahead and proceed. Alright, so drop energy right up. Well, alright, so let's see now. And it's I think that it's like it's not what is the critical part. So we discussed wireframing. We also discussed different types of kinds of wireframing. The wireframing, the low fidelity and high fidelity one. There's also like a mid fidelity wireframing. So what do you think is the main purpose of the wireframe? All right. So hands up. So yeah, that's correct. So layout and structure. Correct. I think almost everyone got the correct answer. Okay, next one. So let's describe the fidelity mark. The PC is a high fidelity wireframe. So choices would be simple boxes in one only, details, visual design, with pulse and photography, handwritten sketch, flow chart. Oh, I think everybody should you know um have it correct answer, have a correct answer. Yep, congratulations. Great job, guys. Then okay, everybody got the correct answer. Next one will be easy. So is it used for what? Signal. Store files, connect screens, and simulate interaction, compress images, create spreadsheets. I think we discussed spreadsheets here. Um, yeah. I think everybody will, have the correct answer. Will got the correct answer. Yay! Once again, great job, guys. Great job. Oh, let me pick this one. Okay, next question. What is X variable shows the billing of a user to screen? Is it logo, user flow, database, this system? So I think we discussed that. It's so obvious which one. Um, we discussed also sitemap. Aside from that one, yeah, the difference between sitemap and other processes. So that is user flow, correct? So that's user flow, right? So I think that's the answer. Last question. I actually read some of your comments that we need to have like a longer quiz. I don't know if I can give you 100 items because we have limited time. All right, so high fidelity wireframe, if you include colors, images, and topology, is it true or false? I think you will get it for high fidelity. Yay! All right, so everybody got the correct answer. Okay, congratulations, guys. Thank you very much. And yes, last class is still the winner. It is definitely got the highest score for the past segment, if I'm not mistaken. The consistent Jaffa. Congratulations. All right, and that's it for me. Thank you very much for listening and for participating. I'll just stop my screen now. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your time for staying and for listening. Dr. Swan, thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Benjamin. I also joined the quiz. However, my fingers are not fast enough compared to Dava. Yeah, I wonder what practice Dava did. Yeah. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Benjamin. I think we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, students. See you tomorrow at the same time. Yeah, at the same Google Meet URL. Thank you very much. See you again tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone. Keep safe. Thank you. Bye bye.